people this time of the year is putting up fencing. And because it's the time of the year most people get out and do that kind of stuff. It's warming up enough we can get out here and work on it. And I have a technique that I've come up with here. I'm not sure how it's going to work out really good yet, but I think you might want to try it. What we done here, I'm going to show you. We put our post here and we put our post here up. We put our center piece here, we cut it. So what I did was, on this post here, I drilled a 5/8 hole through this post. And then in this post, I drilled a 1/2 inch hole, about 18 inches deep. Done the same thing, a 5/8 hole here, 1/2 inch hole in this. And we picked it up here and we took a piece of 2-foot rebar, a 1/2 inch rebar. Now, 1/2 inch is it's a little bit loose in the post here, not much, but you can slide it through by hand. And we slid it through and got it started in a 1/2 inch hole in this post here and took a sledgehammer and drove it. You have to drive it now. We drove it into this post. Done the same thing on this end here. That way you don't have any nails out here. You don't have to cut a notch in your post. You don't have to do all that kind of stuff. And this post is there permanently. It's not coming out. You know, I mean, you're not getting that rebar back out of there. Then we took and, we put a staple at the bottom, left it a little bit loose, staple up here. We run our wire around it, took our ratchet here, took a crescent wrench, and, we tightened it down on the other side here to where this thing is really snug and tight. To me, this is the way to put up fence corners. We got several other fence corners around here. We done them all that way, and every one of them ended up being just as solid and as tight as they could be. I think from this point forward, that's how I'm going to be building my corner braces, because there's never any danger if this comes loose. Cows are bad about rubbing on this, and I have one fence already over here on the front that I did last year. One of these posts have already dropped down on it because the cows got to pushing against this and pushing against it, and they pushed the nails loose that I had in here holding it, even though they were big nails, and the thing has fell down. With this away, with cattle, you don't, or any other animal, you don't have to worry about them. It'd take a tractor. I mean, you push on that with a tractor, you're gonna push these posts over. So I think for the cattle and everything, I think this is gonna be the way we go in the future. Yep, Miss Trixie, that's a good girl.
Little Mooney.
What you doing, baby boy? Say that, man. Yeah, he is a good little man.
That wind's tough.
That wind is something. Okay guys, what I've got here, this is a homemade rig. I kind of come up with this idea. I just basically ordered a big hook that has a swivel on it off of Amazon. And I went to the hardware store, picked up a clevis. I had an old piece of chain laying around here. And I mean, it slides down through the wire. The only thing you have to watch out for is the hook will hook on that when you're going back down through it. That's really the only issue I have found so far. Not really been that big of a deal. Now this end down here, I just took I took an eye bolt with the clevis again in the chain, and I just drilled a hole in here and put me a lock nut on the end of it. And one thing we've got to do, we got to round these edges off a little bit more because the wire keeps hanging on the edges. But once I round them off a little more, I think we'll be good to go without any problems.
Because we got more to go all the way around there.
Oh yeah, we got
more fencing.
We got a lot of fence. All right, we'll just take this and hook it back up here.
Sun's bright this morning.
Woo. Yeah, windy. Boy, it is super windy this morning.
Weather station's kicking it over there.
Yep. What's it kicking?
Alright, it slowed down.
That wind's blowing this morning. March coming in. Let's just hope and pray if it comes in like a lion, it'll go out like a lamb.
Exactly.
Old timey saying. All right, guys, this is another homemade, this is a fence puller. I mean, I've tried the other ones that's got the 3 hooks on them. I have never had success with them things with pulling a fence as tight as I pull a fence. If you're pulling the fence up and you just like I call it half-ass doing it, where it's not really tight, they work fine. But with me, I take 2 2x4s, drill me 3 holes in it, I put these 3/4 inch bolts in it, and I tighten them suckers down tight. Now, when I pull a fence, I pull a fence. That joker is like fiddle string tight, because as time goes on, it's going to expand and contract, and it's going to loosen up over time. So I'm just one of them kind, let's just go ahead and make it tight to start with. And if I have to come back, I can, these tops on here, I'll show you this. If your fence happens to get a little loose or something other, you can come in here with a pair of lineman pliers and you can twist this like this, and that'll you can go all the way down the line doing that, and you can tighten the fence back up and take care of the loose parts in it. That's all it's got to be done once you go ahead and pull it tight to start with. Of course, you can let the bucket up and down. Tractor in low range, first gear. Okay, guys, I pull that fence. That's 300 and something feet of fence. I pulled it straight. Now we're going over a little bit of a rise, which is perfectly fine. That's no big deal. Not a problem. And as I go through there, I'm gonna nail my corners first, but you don't want your wire to be right on the ground, so I'll take my foot and I'll push it down to about 2 or 3 inches off the ground. That way we don't have to worry about that bottom strand getting in the ground, rusting up on us there. We're gonna nail our corners off first. Now the other corner is not nailed, it's just the wire's wrapped around the post, it's not going anywhere. We've got this baby. And look, see this? That's how tight that thing is, and that's what you want. Do not tighten your staples down too tight. Stop them right when they touch the wire. I go every other one. I get to the bottom and then I just skip to the bottom one. The top and the bottom strands, you'll notice are always bigger. That's your strong strands. These are not really your strong strands. Just the top and the bottom is. Wire is not on the ground. Now where I can, I will put a staple across where they hit a post like this. I'll put them across that. That kind of helps keep your wire from wanting to slide in your staple. And at this time, do not unhook your tractor. Leave your tractor hooked up until you get all your top clips down through here. I don't twist my top clips as I go, I just kind of hook them and then I back off and look to make sure my fence flows, because if there's anything I can't stand, it's a fence that's up and down like this, or the post is all leaning out crooked one way or the other. To me, if you're going to do a job, do it right to start with. I always back off and look at my post to make sure it lines with my wire. And of course we're on the ground right here, so I'm going to pick it up. I want at least a foot's width up under it.
A foot as in
My
your foot, not a foot.
Yeah, not a foot, but my foot's width, the top of my foot up under it. And however it lands here like this one, if I could get it up on top of that little hook like that, that's what I prefer. Because then it can't really slide down. And all I do to start with is just grab it and I just hook it over like that.
You'll come back later and twist it.
I'll come back later once I get the flow of my fence like I want it. All right, guys, we're looking at it. It's as straight, you look down through yonder, it's as straight as it can be that way. The flow looks pretty good. There's no bad up and downs in the wire like this. And I'm not worried about the post sticking up here because I have Dexters. I know, little man, I have Dexters. Dexters don't hardly ever fool your fence as far as trying to get over one of them. They're very respectful to fence wire. If a cow wants out, these metal posts ain't gonna stop him from getting out. Neither is this wire. So just keep that in mind. The fencing is only there.
That wind.
The wind is something else, yeah. The fencing's just there because they have to learn boundaries, and they learn them when they're little. So that's what it's for. But everything looks good. I'm gonna go back and tighten my top clips up now as I go, and guys, buy you one of these. Now all mine's been homemade up to this point, But this one was at the hardware store the other day, and I saw it, and I said, you know what?
How much was it?
$4.
Yeah, well worth the $4.
Well worth the $4. You know, I mean, you can stick that baby on there. And a lot of people don't bend these. I bend them. That's all it takes right there. That quick. I used to sit here with pliers and do all this stuff, and that's $4. That's the best $4 you'll ever spend if you do fencing. Get off, make sure. Nah, that looks good right there. Guys, you want a line post every 150 feet. You don't want to go over 150 feet before you put a line post.
Here, a mourning dove.
Yep, they're getting ready to nest. Everything. Redbirds, mourning doves, everything this time of the year. Bluebirds. Fixing to be time for the martins in the deep south.
You're gonna finish up with these going all the way down, and then
Yep, I'm over.
then we got
I gotta go all the way around yonder.
all the way around back to that fence.
Another
way back
quarter of a
yonder.
mile, look like. We're still not going to undo the tractor until I clip all these posts, because if you'll clip all your posts before you let go of the tractor, you won't lose your pull on the corners. I mean, even though your corners are braced off good, sometimes if the ground is a little damp, they can move in the ground. But if you go ahead and clip all these posts down through yonder, you got your line posts nailed. The fence from both directions, when you let go of it, it'll just sit there. It usually won't move. Guys, there's one thing about fencing. It's nothing any more frustrating than trying to get them things out of that bag right there. I'm blessed enough that Ms. Wanda goes ahead of me, and she takes time and separates them out, and she lays them by the posts, so that when I get to the post, all I gotta do is pick them up and clip them. That is a huge time saver when you're installing fence clips. See how much it lets go. I'm gonna mash the clutch in the tractor in, release the brakes. That's it.
I don't think it
It
moved.
didn't even move. That's the benefit of doing it right.
That's a pretty fence line.
Variable today.
Top and bottom wire is going to be the hardest to do.
Yep, always is. Because I can't use my tool here. And this wire is some kind of stiff. Once you get it down short, your pliers can, a good pair of lineman pliers will take care of that. You can tighten it up. I always try to get that point where it won't get you if you walk by it. Alright, so it looks like we're going to just be cutting it right through here, so we'll just go ahead and just cut.
Much more.
I think that might be it. Yeah, we'll let that be it. Okay, what we're doing here is we're joining one of our fences onto another paddock that's here. So I ran the wire beyond this corner here and I wrapped all the ends here. This wire was pulling in that direction, so it has this post leaned in that direction just a little bit. And I figure when I pull this fence back, maybe it'll pull this post back up perfectly straight. And if have to, I'll come back and put another one of these wire braces in this direction so that I have a perfect cross in it. That way it's holding in both directions once I pull this back up, you know, pretty straight. That one, put back, yeah.
Next one.
That gets me a little bit better.
This fence is up.
Standing up, that's about it right now.
Now comes the fun work.
There we are. I think I'm gonna have to come up with this in a little bit. All right, we are complete with the new paddock. This is the last obstacle in the way of the cows getting into this paddock. And once I cut this, then they have access to it. So we are at that process, and we're going to actually, that's like cutting a ribbon, you know? We're gonna like cut the ribbon.
We got the gate in case.
Oh yeah. Now before I go all the way down through here cutting these, rule of thumb is, you better check to make sure that the one you just cut's gonna work. Okay, so I can actually cut, it's gonna work. That's what I needed to know. We are good to go. Get these tall things out of the way right here.
Oh, we went that way.
Yeah, I suppose it should have, yeah. We had a tight pull on it in this direction. So, move this out of the way.
Cows be playing with it.
Huh?
Cows be playing with it.
Hey, Tom.
Come on.
How are you two?
Come on here, Miss Dolly. Come on, girl. Come on. Come on, Miss Dolly. Come on here. Come on. Come on, Mrs. Duke. Come on. Come on, Mrs. Duke. Come on here, boy. Come on. Come on, Hadassah. Come on. Look, don't get horsey with me.
He's like, this is fun.
Y'all come on here, Miss Dolly. Come on here, Shushan.
Oh, what's that?
Come on here.
Oh, Rudy. Oh, Rudy.
Y'all go run the borders now where you know where you're at.
Look at him.
He don't like that yellow thing in his field.
Don't you mess with the power line now.
He did. He ran right at it.
Yeah. Yeah. Come on here. Come on, Shushan. Come on here, little man. Come on, girl.
Look at him rubbing on a tree.
You gotta play pretty out there. He's just gonna run now. Go, come on, run. Y'all supposed to run. Okay.
doing? Got tired? Little man will sleep good tonight.